Welcome back to the channel. This will be the review for the Meze Alba. If you haven't watched my unboxing video of the Alba, I've linked it in the description box below. If you have clicked into this video due to the title, this is not clickbait. You can directly skip to the Drivability and Scalability section using the timestamps below. The word Alba means first light in Romanian. The Alba IEM is an introduction for consumers to quality audio products. It's designed to be comfortable, accessible, and convenient. That's why the Meze Alba also comes with a USB-C DAC cable, so users can use the Alba right away, without the need of purchasing additional gear. I think that's a great gesture from Meze. The Meze Alba retails for $159. The Meze Alba is one of the most comfortable IEMs out there. It's small and lightweight, and it doesn't stick out from my inner ear. If you're someone that wears your IEMs to sleep, I think these may work. The Meze Alba is constructed from zinc alloy and anodized aluminum parts. The shells are covered with a pearl-colored paint. The Alba uses a 0.78mm 2-pin cable. I've read online that some users have reported the white paint finish peeling off on the Alba, but I believe they have altered the design and paint to resolve that issue. Great work from Meze. It shows that they stand behind their products. I believe the newer versions have a more creamy colored paint. I have been using my pair for around 3 weeks now on a daily basis, but I don't see any paint chipping or text rubbing off. I really like the cable from the Alba. It's made from silver-plated copper, but what I like about it is the diameter and the hardware. I personally like thinner cables due to comfort, and the splitter isn't too heavy as well. The cable also has a functional clinch. My only complaint about the cable is here. One side is braided looser than the other side. However, I think this might be a defect specific to my unit. Having an impedance of 32 ohms and a sensitivity rating of 109 decibels, the Alba is not a particularly sensitive IEM, but it's not hard to drive well either. You have good performance and enough volume in the headphone jack of most devices. I put this section here before I talk about the sound because I find the Alba sounding unnatural when too much power output is used to drive it. Initially, I was powering the Alba with high gain on my DX180. I usually like to use high gain on dynamic driver IEMs as they usually tend to scale well. But it sounded harsh and just didn't sound right. After trying out some different sources including the stock dongle, the headphone jack on my Galaxy S9, and the Atom 2 stack, I find the Alba to sound better on outputs with not too much power. That makes sense as the Alba is marketed as a convenient and easy to use IEM. It was probably tuned using a less powerful source. Unlike most dynamic driver IEMs I've tried, the Alba does not scale well with more power. Too high of a gain, the treble energy will become fatiguing and unnatural. The decay of sounds also shortens when you're overpowering the Alba. So if you're using a powerful amp, make sure to play around with the gain level to see what you like most. In my experience, the Alba usually sounds better with a lower gain level, and I ended up using low gain on my DX180 to power the Alba. I did try using measurements to confirm my findings, and the frequency response does change using high versus low gain on the Atom 2. I've also thrown in the stock USB dongle for comparison. The more power you use to drive the Alba, the more bass you will lose. As you can see in the graph, there's almost a 4 dB boost in sub-bass when using the stock dongle and the MacBook Pro headphone out versus the Atom 2 in high gain. But there are also some things that frequency response is not able to show effectively, including the decay speed, soundstage, and the transients of sound. So just keep in mind and experiment with different amps when you get the Alba. Personally, I like the sound signature the most with weaker sources. You sacrifice some details and separation, but I think it sounds more balanced that way and it suits my preference more. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised how large the difference is between different sources and how nobody mentioned this in their reviews. I'm not trying to say that only the Alba shifts in frequency response when powered by different sources. Every IEM does that, especially in dynamic driver IEMs, but it does shift a bit more than what I experienced before, and is something you should know if you own or plan to buy the Alba. The first thing I noticed when I tried the Alba was the airiness in the treble and the width of the soundstage. The Meze has a gentle V-shaped sound signature, meaning that bass and treble response is slightly elevated. There's a slight warmth and forwardness to the mids and vocals. Overall, I find the sound signature to be pretty energetic. The treble of the Alba is energetic and has a sense of airiness to it. While it contributes to making the Alba sound wider, the upper mids and treble can sound a bit harsh if you are treble sensitive. However, the clarity in the treble is just okay in the price range. Don't expect the Alba to be super resolving in detail retrieval. The mids on the Alba are airy, smooth, and lush. While the vocals are engaging and rich, it may be too smoothed out for some. The Alba does not reveal a lot of vocal articulations in voices like lip sounds and the sound of breathing while singing, which a lot of audiophiles like to listen for on vocal tracks. The situation is similar with other instruments in the mid-range. They all present a sense of lushness and airiness to the sound, engaging but not particularly detailed. The bass of the Alba is quick, clean, and resolving. I would say the punch of the bass is on the lighter side. Overall, the bass response in the frequency range sounds pretty neutral. It's quite textured and well controlled, which helps maintain the clarity in the mids. The soundstage is impressively open and expansive for an IEM at this price. The stage has great width, but just okay in the depth. It sounds good and engaging in different genres. However, the imaging and instrument separation is just fair at this price. The Drivability Lowmaster has a lot of similarities and yet are very different. They both have a relatively neutral tonal balance, and they both retail around the $150 mark. You can see the similarities in their frequency response measurements. I have them on Squigglelink. You can check the link in the description below. However, the sound characteristics cannot be more different. The mids of the Lowmaster is much drier and more detailed, while the mids on the Alba are lush and smooth. The Lowmaster has impressive imaging and separation, but a relatively narrower stage, and the Alba is the other way around. It's interesting how similar the tonal balance of these IEMs are, but yet sound so different. The Lowmaster being a technical IEM, and the Alba carrying more emotion in its sound. It's great to see more major players in the IEM industry enter the sub-$200 IEM market, like Meze has done. The Alba is an IEM with a safe and mature tuning, which wonderfully showcases the ability of a major brand like Meze. The Alba carries a neutral tonal signature with a sense of warmth and smoothness in it, all delivered in an IEM that's super comfortable to wear. The more relaxed sound signature makes the Alba capable in delivering an enjoyable experience across different genres. If you're looking for an IEM in this range, I'd recommend you give the Meze Alba a try. Another bonus for getting the Alba is that you can get great sound quality just using the stock USB dongle it provides. I think most users will be happy with the overall sound quality of these two combined together. Personally, I'm very happy with the combo. The Alba also provides great value as you won't need to buy an extra dongle deck to drive it. So this is the end of my review. Please like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.